I rebuilt the motor. I put I got rid of the DOD, put a regular aftermarket, the regular camshaft, OEM camshaft and lifters from Skaggy Dickens Skaggy. So I put all that together. It ran fine for a few months, and then when it started getting hot, my daughter said it stalled. I thought it was the air conditioner. Well, it might have been at the time. I overcharged it because my scale was off. So anyway, I rectified that, and then she said it stalled again. And then it progressively got a little worse, and I got the p1682 code. And I'm like, I wrung out the wiring. I pulled that fuse box apart. I checked all the little the wires in the fuse.
Okay.
I went through all of that. I changed the ignition switch like 2-3 times. I do some big mechanical, and the little stuff I've never changed an ignition switch. Okay, so some of that stuff. So I changed it. I'm like, why is this not working right? So then I actually found the powertrain relay number 60. I downloaded the wiring diagrams. Powertrain relay 60 wasn't pulling in, I found. So I says, well, maybe it's a wire. Anyway, so I grounded to one side of the relay. I cracked open the relay. I've done a lot of electrical. I rebuilt panels, so mostly AC, not car stuff. But so I grounded it, and I got the relay to pull in, and I drove it home because it was installed at her boyfriend's house. And then I'm like, hey, this thing's running like crap. It's throwing all kinds of codes, and it wouldn't accelerate. And then so the last thing I got was I think the TAC throttle actuator motor or something. It threw a pending code and a confirmed code.
Okay.
And then before I talked to you, I was like, you know what? I might just replace the TAC because it goes to the same board and it may be dropping the voltage or throwing it and killing the power train.
Right.
I don't know the logic. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the logic. I understand, the wiring, but I don't know how to process it. So that's where I'm at, and I'm like, I figure I better just talk to somebody. I handed it into the mechanic. I did not tell you that, and he told me I kept 2 ECMs. I had one that was programmed from the original, and I called the guy, and he goes, look, I won't charge you for the programming, because he goes, I'll send you out a new one, but he goes, I doubt it's a new one. If that's it. So I swapped the ECM, like right when it stalled, and it didn't restart. Same thing, exact same thing. So I'm like, I don't think it's the ECM. This guy wants a whole shit ton of money, and my mechanic retired. So I had a real good relationship with him, and I trusted him.
Okay.
And he retired, and so that's the problem. If it was Terry, I would say no problem, but I really don't trust a lot of people out there, So,
right, I gotcha.
So that's where I'm at.
Okay. So I would tell you to replace this or that, or tell you what the common causes or fixes would be. I can certainly do that, but your response to me is going to be, I've already checked it, I've already replaced it.
Okay. So I kind of went through the gamut on what you thought I should do, correct?
Well, let me ask you this. So you can get the vehicle to act up, right?
I have to run it. It'll run for 45 minutes in
okay.
the garage.
All right.
And then about 45 minutes, I'll come back up, and it'll just, obviously I don't want to drive it around the neighborhood because it's terrible when you stall on the street.
Right.
But it'll run for 45 minutes, and then it'll die.
Okay. So, I'll tell you why that's good news. Because you can get it to act up so we can run some tests. So when this happens, we're going to need to check for voltage on the ECM1 and the IGN E fuse under the hood.
Okay. All right. I'm going to walk out right now. So if it gets a little, just so you know, I should have good reception out here. So just let me know if you don't hear me. Okay. So I said I'm going to write this down. So okay, one more time. Keep on going.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yes, write this down, and what I can do is I can let you go and I can let you work on this, and then you can call me back after you've run this test. So when this problem occurs, we're going to check for a loss or low voltage condition on the ECM1 and the IGN E fuses under the hood.
Okay. So let me write that. I'm gonna pop the fuse box open right now. Now listen, I checked with this thing off most all of those fuses, and I probably have done it already. But I don't mind. Sometimes you just have to keep going over things. I don't mind doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
But let me get this open, check it. Because I got the wire, the thing under the hood to tell me, because like I said, I checked a lot of these fuses here. Okay, I'm going to go back inside. I can see the fuse box in my hand.
The most common cause for this condition is a bad fuse box or ignition switch. And I know you said you replaced the ignition switch, and I think you said you checked the fuse box. So let's just run the test and see where it gets us.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so now I just want to run, as soon as I write this down, I want to run this by you real quick. Is because on my scanner it shows 2 voltages, and I did take a picture of that, I think. Okay, so let's just go to there, and it's not like I have a real high, it's just like an Actron or something, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not like the top of the line, and that could be a bit of an issue. I mean, I probably, since I do work on a lot of stuff, I probably should invest in a decent scanner, which I would take the recommendations on that from you also. But let's see if I have this here, huh? Okay, fuel level. Okay, so I got 2 voltages in here. It says control module voltage, okay? So it says V power V and V power V.
Okay.
But there's 2 of them. And they both show, one shows 13.845 and the other one shows 13.749. Okay. So I don't know which modules those are going to, and it is an Actron Auto Scanner Plus that I have. Okay. So we're gonna, I'm gonna throw that out to you. And now, since I interrupted you, let's go back to the fuses and stuff I have to check. Okay.
Right. Okay. So you got those 2 fuses written down, right?
No, you have to do that again. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no problem. Okay. All right. Let me pull that back up here. Hang on. The ECM1.
ECM1.
And the IGN E as an elephant fuse.
Yeah, ECM, right?
ECM1 and IGN. So ECM for engine control module 1 and the IGN for ignition, I believe. IGN E as an elephant fuse under the hood.
IGN E fuse. And that'll be in the main fuse box under the hood.
Yeah. So, and also write down fuse 2823. Let's see what else is there.
Are those the fuses to the ECM1 and to the ignition one?
I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure.
28 is the ECM. Yes, definitely. I'm going to tell you, I've checked it already, but I will recheck it. Now, how do you want me to check it besides the fuse? The fuses are definitely good. Do you want me to check it like off of one side to ground when it fails? Yeah.
So I would monitor the voltage on this circuit. So what you're going to do is you're going to leave the fuses in place, and somehow or another you're going to, I know it's going to be hard if it just acts up, sporadically, momentarily. I get it. I totally understand. I've been doing this for a long time, but somehow or another you're going to have to check the voltage on these fuses. So when the fuse is in place, you can take your red lead of your voltmeter and put it on the top side of the fuse, which got like a metal prong that you can measure voltage. And then because the fuse is good, it's not blown, it should be the same voltage as the other side of the fuse, right? Because it's just a lot, right? So then your black lead is going to go to a good known ground, and then you'll be able to get a reading on that circuit.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because the fuses have little holes in the top, right?
Yep.
My voltmeter.
Exactly.
Okay, so you want me to do that when it's stalled?
Yes, that's correct.
I do it both. I'll do it both when it's running. I'll check both sides of 28 to ground and both sides of 23 to ground, and then I'll do it after it's installed.
Perfect.
We'll see if there's any here. Of course, it's going to drop a little bit when it's installed because it's only battery voltage.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we're looking for low voltage.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Hey, that's reasonable. That's a good set. We'll check that and we'll go from there.
Okay, that sounds good.
Wonderful. I appreciate it. It sounds very excellent to me. A good start. Okay.
All right, that sounds good.
Okay. Thanks again.
All right, you're welcome.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.